All right, guys, stop. Don't think to start a t-shirt business until you watch this video. You think you're just going to buy a heat press, some blank shirts, some DTF transfers, press them up, and you're going to get rich overnight, right? Well, wrong. Fact is, most people that try to start this business fail before they even print their first set of shirts, losing anywhere from $500 to $5,000 quickly. All right, in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to avoid those mistakes and the mistakes that I made when I first started. Therefore, you don't have to make those same mistakes. All right, so now I just spoke about losing, how you can lose anywhere from $500 to $5,000 quickly, right? Before you even getting started. Now, here's a few ways that this can happen in this business when you first start out. All right, one is overspending on a heat press. Number two is picking the wrong DTF supplier, right? You may think that, hey, DTF suppliers are all the same. That's a mistake that I made in the beginning. When DTF first hopped on the scene, I found a company. That company was awesome. I did wash tests, wash cycles, everything. I was happy with the turnout of those DTF transfers. So therefore, I thought all DTF transfers was made with the same material, same quality, everything. So then I ordered some from a cheaper vendor, and guess what? I got cheaper results. All right. So therefore, I lost money there. All right. Because what happened? I printed up those shirts, but I had to reimburse at least some of the money, portion of the money, because of the quality of the DTF transfers. These are all mistakes that we make in the beginning when we're first starting our business. All right, it's a slap on the hand. You learn for next time, you move on. Now, biggest thing is, and I'm going to do another video on this, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like and comment, share everything that you need to do to keep engaged with this channel. The biggest thing that people do when they start their t-shirt business, they price their items too low. All right. And I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to do a video on pricing, how to price your t-shirts and how to price your apparel. Now, the next thing is that people do when they first starting up, because they're hungry and they're thirsty for customers, they try to please everyone, meaning they take on more than they can handle. Okay. So now you're just starting out in the t-shirt business, and now you're lucky enough, you get a customer that says, hey, I want to order 50 to 100 shirts. You're just starting out knowing to yourself like, okay, wow, 50 to 100 shirts. You're just randomly giving them off a price. You're randomly giving them a time frame because you've never pressed up 50 to 100 shirts. You haven't even asked what the shirt looks like. They're asking you how much and how long the shirt is going to take. Meanwhile, you've never even priced out the shirt yet. All right, so let's keep that in mind. Everyone wants to know what equipment to buy, but they skip the most important part, which is ROI, which stands for return on investment. Now, there's three things in this business that you don't need. You don't need a $1,000 heat press. You don't need to go out there and spend thousands on a DTF printer. And you don't need to spend thousands of dollars on vinyls. Okay. Now, I'm going to talk to you real quick about this. You're going to start small. You're going to test your products, test your skills, do test trials, make money, then you're going to scale. In that order. All right, I'm going to repeat that. You're going to start small. You're going to test your products, test your t-shirts. That means doing wash cycles on your DTF transfers on certain garments, different type of materials, different colors, different temperatures when you're washing stuff. So this is your test phase. Okay, once you have locked in, all right, the type of shirts you like to use, the type of quality that your customers like, or whatever, the type of DTF suppliers the DTF suppliers you're going to be using on a regular basis, you're happy with the quality, the colors, everything, the wash cycles. Now it's time to make some money. Once you start making some money, then you can scale up. All right, meaning buy maybe a little better quality t-shirt, or maybe buying a faster printer, okay, that you can now invest in, and you know that you have the business and the customer, the clientele, to get a return on your investment when you're purchasing such a large piece of equipment such as that. All right, so does that make sense to you guys? Hopefully you guys wrote this down. I've seen people make $5K a month. Okay, I've done it. When I started out, I was one of those people that was blessed to start my business, and it took off quicker than I expected. In the very beginning, there's been months where I've made $5K using, let's say $500, because I remember my first heat press was maybe about $150, $200, if that. And then I got a vinyl cutter. This was even before DTF transfers came out. I got a vinyl cutter that I spent maybe another $300 on. 250, $300 on. And I was doing that, you know, of course, buying blanks. But as far as equipment wise, yeah, I spent maybe about $500. Okay. And with $500, I was able to have profitable $5,000 months, not $5,000 in sales, $5,000 in profits. Okay. So it is possible. Don't go out there, exhaust your funds on, especially when you're starting out, on the most expensive or brand names, or, you know, what you heard somebody on YouTube tell you was the best machine to get, or whatever the case is. Do what you can afford in the beginning and scale from that. All right. That's real talk. You know, a lot of these influencers aren't going to tell you that stuff. They're going to just promote products that they're getting paid to promote. Okay. Through affiliate programs and so forth, so on. All right. Now, me, do I do affiliates? Very, very seldom. Why? Because I'm a strong believer of, I'm only going to talk and discuss products that I use on a consistent basis. As you know, if you know me, I'm not one of these content creators that have a million machines all over the place. I have 1 or 2 machines of each that I need to use to get through my products, to get through my orders on a consistent basis that work for me. All right. I don't care about getting paid to promote somebody else's product that somebody that is just starting out can't even afford. I don't care about that stuff. All right, so now this next section is primarily where t-shirt businesses fail. And the reason is they try to sell to everyone. Now, hence why I never got into the graphic tees business, as far as, and what I mean by that is, coming up with random graphics or random images, logos, text, whatever the case is, and putting them on a t-shirt, building a website, and just selling them out to the public. To me, that's too much work. I don't know what everybody likes. I'm not one to follow trends, and I don't have time to keep up with different trends. Trends change every day. Trends change all the time. So I personally don't have the time and energy. And to me, it is not as lucrative as financially as building your own custom apparel business. Now, the difference between the two is simple. T-shirt, graphic tees, you're selling and praying that people like your designs and they buy them. Custom apparel, people are coming to you with the designs that they want on their apparel. You see the difference? You see how easy, you know, it is to distinguish from A and B? Those graphic tees, you got to chase people to buy your designs. Custom apparel, people come to you with their designs. So, you know, not saying that stop selling graphic tees. If you have a business and you have a storefront, whatever the case is, and you guys are selling graphic tees, and, you know, or you have a brand name or whatever the case is, and it's doing well for you, more power to you. God bless you. Good for you guys. Me personally, I find that word of mouth is the best marketing tool out there. Custom apparel, people are willing to pay a higher premium for it because it's something that's personalized, it's something that's custom, dedicated to them. They're not going to go down the block and see someone wearing the same shirt or the same hoodie or whatever the piece is. So people are willing to pay a premium for it, and therefore, you know what? I make more money. However, again, don't try to sell to everyone, okay? If you are making graphic shirts, if you are making, you know, just random prints, try to make them look different than what you already see on, you know, on the streets. Try to switch them up a little bit, change up the variations and so forth, so on. Therefore, you know that, all right, the chances of them seeing the same thing when they go out on the street, it's not going to happen. All right, so just think about that. But me personally, like I said, I chose custom apparel because I can target so many different niches, I should say. For example, I can target my son's youth football teams, the local sports teams, baseball, football, lacrosse, the teams that are things that are sports that are big in this area. You always have people doing birthdays, weddings, you have memorial shirts. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, you know? So custom apparel to me is the breadwinner. It is the money maker. It is the better way to go, if in my opinion. You pick your avenue, decide which lane you want to go down. There's no right or wrong lane. This is, again, just my opinion. All right, guys, just to recap, and I know that I said that I was going to explain to you guys pricing in this video, but I've decided to dig a little deeper into the pricing category of this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make a separate video. So you guys make sure, like I said before, to subscribe to the channel, like this video, turn on your notification bell. So therefore, once I post that video, you guys will get notified and you guys can tap in. That video is going to be very important because it plays a key factor in making money or losing money in your t-shirt business. All right, so make sure to do that. And just to recap, things that you need to, purchase if you're thinking about starting up a t-shirt business: an affordable heat press. You want to get yourself some high quality, affordable DTF prints. You want to get yourself some blank shirts, like I said, either Gildan's, Bella Canvas, any of those type of shirts are premium, good quality shirts. You want to have yourself a photo, or not a photo, a design software such as Photoshop or Canva. Like I said, Canva is very easy to use. It doesn't cost anything. If you are a graphic t-shirt designer, you want to kind of find a niche that works for you and pick a niche or two and then create about 5 to 10 designs for each niche. I preferably would do about 10 designs for a niche. So if you're into dogs, all right, create 10 different designs on dogs. If you're into boats, create 10 different designs into boats, whatever it is that you're into. All right, therefore you have a variety. You can throw them out there and see which one sticks. Nowadays, you have ChatGPT to help you along the way. You can simply type in, how do I start a t-shirt business from scratch? How do I start a t-shirt business with no money? And it's going to literally give you point blank bullet points, step by step, on what you need to do. Follow those steps. But what I'd rather you do is come check it out on my channel. All right, so make sure, again, to subscribe, like, and follow. And I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.